coach in December of 2021. Brent has 3 national championships to his credit as an assistant coach during his 13 years at Oklahoma, as an assistant and 10 seasons at Clemson. Brent, we were just talking, like the commissioner of the conference and a number of his colleague coaches, and even some of our presidents and chancellors, is a product of the junior college system. He began his collegiate career at Garden City, Kansas Community College, where he earned All-American honors before earning honorable mention All Big 8 honors during his playing career at Kansas State. Brent is another one of our coaches nominated for the 2025 All-State AFCA Good Works team. He's established community service as a major part of his life and his football program, which is recognized through this nomination. In his spare time, he enjoys, I'll put air quotes around enjoys, running stadium stairs in the 100-degree Oklahoma temperatures, which is not too bad for a 54-year-old guy running those stairs. He and his wife Julie have 4 children, sons Jake and Tyler, and daughters Lainey and Addie. Welcome to the stage, the head coach, the University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you, Commissioner Sankey. Appreciate everybody being here today, and thinking maybe I got y'all in a vulnerable position, being day 3 and being the last one to speak to y'all today. So I got you right where I want you. No, I do want to take the opportunity to thank Commissioner Sankey for his strong leadership, clear vision, and arguably, maybe what might be the most disruptive time in college football history. He's guided us with a very unique lens and tremendous wisdom. And I would also be remiss if I didn't mention and thank William King, his co-chairman. He's been a great help to all of us head coaches over the last couple of years, and helping us navigate a lot of choppy waters. As a little over a week ago, I got a phone call from my boss and great friend, Joe Castiglione, sharing his news of retirement with me. Happened to be out of town at the time, and so I wasn't able to go to his press conference a day or so after he made the initial announcement. And so as I begin today, I'd like to just publicly both congratulate and thank Joe and his lovely wife, Kristen, for 28 years of impeccable leadership that he's provided so many, the love, the passion, the sacrifice, and the dedication to the entire University of Oklahoma community and the city of Norman. I've always said that you have a life that matters when you matter to other people, and Joe, you certainly have mattered. You truly have impacted and enriched countless thousands of lives over a broad spectrum over the last 3 decades. And that's truly what matters. That's what we all aspire to do, is to impact other people, and he certainly has done that. And he's also helped, as we know, many athletic programs to unprecedented historical success over, again, every sport that you can imagine. And he's done it all with maintaining a moral compass, pure motives, and a genuine love and appreciation for people. Joe's had a Hall of Fame career. I think that goes without saying. He's in several Hall of Fames already today. But I believe that has happened and transpired because of his unwavering commitment and dedication to winning at the highest level, but doing it the right way. And he's also probably, maybe his why, I don't want to speak for him, but far beyond supporting the coaches and all the sports that he's helped lead over decades, he's also his focus has been on equipping and empowering student athletes through their athletic journey, and never losing sight, in my opinion, of him keeping the main thing the main thing. So a big salute and gratitude to Joe and Kristen. We truly do love and appreciate you in every way. Look forward to seeing you soon. I'm excited to be here. And for all of us, I think everybody in here, I don't want to speak for everyone, but that are truly in love and grateful for the great game of football. I think it's the greatest game on the planet. And we're 45 days from kickoff. And like y'all don't already know that. And but I'm thankful in every way you can imagine to be the head football coach at the University of Oklahoma and a head coach in the best, in my opinion, top to bottom conference in all of college football. And it's, as we know, there's a landscape that is constantly changing, and the challenges that are a byproduct of that. I'm also blessed to be supported by a strong board of regents led by Anita Holloway and co-chairman Rick Nagel, their leadership, along with our chairman of football, Randall Stevenson, and who I believe is the best president in all of college football, Joe Harris. The tireless collective work and collaboration have put our program in an incredibly strong position as we progress towards a new modernized version of college football as we know it. In my opinion, there's not a better profession on this planet or a more influential profession than being a football coach. I'm a living, breathing testament, an example of how a locker room can save and transform and change the trajectory of a young man's life. I believe the game has never been better or more important than it is today. The life lessons learned through the locker room are all well known, but perhaps the greatest lesson, in my opinion, is in a world that will divide, the game of football is something that unifies. And so I'm just blessed beyond measure to be a small part of that and being impacted in every way. I brought three guys with me today. If you don't know them yet, you'll learn about the three players that have come with us. All three exemplify everything good about college football in our program. These are guys that are highly competitive in the classroom. They lead from a place of passion and a love for the game, and I believe they have elite leadership as well. All three of the young men will be incredibly important parts of our success this fall, and are indicative of the type of young men that we have in our locker room. All three were to some degree afterthoughts or undervalued, under-recruited players. And I love that about the game. I've been an underdog my whole life, and I love pulling for guys like this, but they also are reflective of what the game of football at this level is all about. It's about development in every part of their life. And R. Mason Thomas, a defensive end that we have, a senior from Cardinal Gibbons High School down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Robert Spears Jennings, a safety from Broken Arrow High School. These guys are two of the 13 players on our current roster that are entering their fourth-year part of all of our first recruiting class. And when R. Mason showed up, he was 212 pounds soaking wet. Now he's over 250 pounds. He's one of the most fiercest and explosive pass rushers in all of college football. He's all SEC a year ago, had 9 sacks, and all of his best days are in front of him. But he, along with the other two guys that I'm going to introduce, are also these are guys that are highly invested in our locker room. They lead from the front. These are guys that, are unbreakable in every possible way, and just really proud to have these guys represented today. Robert Spears Jennings, he played both ways coming out of high school, moved to safety as a freshman. Didn't play a whole lot like a lot of young players and need to transition and learn and grow. But he's become one of the fiercest, fastest, most explosive, instinctive safeties in all of the country. He was second on our team last year in tackles with 66, forced 4 fumbles, which I think is one of the tops in the country. Be a December grad along with R. Mason as well. And also RJ was an all-academic, all-SEC performer as well. Just chasing excellence is what he's always represented. And then John Mateer. As I've said a few times already here today, just tremendous capacity. Every day John is wide open. He's a guy that deeply cares. He's a guy, along with the other two players that are part of the 2025 version of the Oklahoma Sooners, and turned down more money to go elsewhere because of the belief and the vision of the program. Certainly a connection to Coach Arbuckle, but this is a guy that wants to win at the highest level. He's a connector. He's a guy that leads from the front. As he plays the game, he looks like he's in fast forward a lot of times, but a great competitor, super athletic, throws the ball really well on the run, makes a lot of good decisions, very self-deprecating, and likes to have fun, can laugh at himself. He handles those tough moments. They're a part of every day. You go to the practice field and going against the type of guys he's going against every day, he's going to have some tough moments, and he handles it all. He's got the right questions to ask and takes responsibility and lays it on the line each and every day. And also, through 3 years in college up to this point, he's a 3.5 GPA, had all academic honors in the league that he's coming from as well. So I'm really excited about those guys, and I chose those three. They have positioned themselves through a body of work to be heard and influence and impact their teammates in the simplest way. I've said that the most important thing that every player in the locker room should covet is the respect and the trust of their teammates, and they've certainly done exactly that. And they show up every day with something on the line, and that's what I love about these guys. Y'all going to enjoy them as you get a chance to interview them here today. We've had a lot of changes since January. Probably, I'm sure that most coaches stood up here and talked about a lot of changes. That's the environment that we're in today, between portal, recruiting, new coaches, a new offense, a new GM structure. But we've also had tremendous retention, which foundationally for me is what it's all about. The continuity, guys are returning with experience and are highly invested in the locker room, and they're attracted to the vision of the program. That's incredibly important to me. But no doubt, we've improved our roster, and again, I believe that we've created a better overall staff with the additions that we've brought in. But top to bottom, we've made great gains in the weight room with building more mass, improving our strength at the point of attack. We needed to do that. We had a lot of freshmen that played a year ago in our bowl game, and our top 48 players on offense and defense in the 2 deep. 24 of them were freshmen, and so we needed to become more functionally strong and again be a better point of attack team. Our defense was pretty solid in that space. Offensively, we struggled moving people like we need to in this conference, and it's a conference, in my opinion, that's made up of the lines of scrimmage. But we have improved our strength. We've gotten faster. We're more explosive. Our acceleration numbers, and I'm not here gassing and just reaching for anything. I want to quantify a lot of hard work that our guys have put in over the last several months. But I think the last 2 years combined, you look at the total number of snaps in college football, we have some of the top numbers when it comes to playing freshmen and sophomores. And so I really believe the experience that's returning along with the new additions is going to put together a great product here this fall. Got 5 new coaches. Coach Arbuckle, Coach Kozeski, our quarterback's coach, Coach Wilson, Kevin Wilson, a former offensive coordinator at Oklahoma and former head coach at both Indiana and Tulsa, and then offensive coordinator for a good while at Ohio State. Great friend of mine, a really successful coach, one of the best play callers that I've ever been around. He's also on our staff. And then I hired 2 linebacker coaches, an outside linebacker coach that's been a coordinator at an elite level in Wes Goodwin, and he'll be my outside linebacker coach, and then Coach Nate Dreiling as well, who coach our inside linebackers, and also been a really good coordinator as well. It's been great. All these coaches, along with, again, our new front office staff, Jim Nagy, and the depth of the people that he's brought into the building as well, they really have. They've hit the ground running. It's been a ton of fun. I love their energy, their buy-in, and the things that they've added to our culture day in and day out. It's been fantastic. Change, as we all know, is inevitable. Nothing ever stays the same, and every year my job and my focus is on how do we move the program together and move it forward, and face the new challenges, the headwinds that are a part of all of it that you experience every year, but maintaining our mission during that process and not flinching even when maybe a lot of people are. Had a blast this spring, this winter, even this summer, when we're allowed to being on the practice field with this football team, being with the guys, been a ton of fun. They've worked their tails off, and I love the focused passion and the focused intensity, the competitiveness, the energy, the leadership, the edge that these guys show up every single day, day in and day out. Every year you got to start over and recreate, reinvent, develop a new identity, and I'm excited about seeing where that goes, but I love what I've seen up to this point in time, and a lot goes in to creating that identity in the season, and the challenges that will present will also help shape an identity with this football team. But couldn't be more excited about what I've seen up to this point in time. This is a team I love to be in the building with every single day, and I believe they have what it takes to claw our way back to where I believe Oklahoma belongs. The expectations here and in the locker room are to win at the very highest level and to compete for a championship. That's always been the way it is here at the University of Oklahoma, and we embrace those standards and expectations of excellence. Now, you choose to come to Oklahoma to coach or to play on the biggest stage in the biggest games, and you accept everything that comes with that. In the new era of college football, we expect to be a program that is a year in and year out consistently a playoff contender. And I believe the sum of all of our parts with this football team, the 2025 version, gives us a chance to have a really good football team. Got a lot of work to do, a lot of improvement to do through the next several weeks in fall camp, and then even into the season and the challenges, how that will shape us and help us get better. But the margin for error is incredibly small. We know that. This is a conference that is full of teams that will punish you on any given Saturday if you don't show up and get everything right. And so looking forward to competing with this group of coaches and a group of players. And with that, I'll be respectful of your time and open it up for questions.
Thank you, Coach Venables. If you have a question, raise your hand. Please give your name and affiliation. Gianna, Nathan, and Drayden will get one to you. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Come up right here, start in the second row, right in the middle. Kirk.
Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle.
Hey, Kirk.
Have you ever played a football season before without any wide receivers? And given all the injuries, how has that position improved?
Yeah, I think it's hard to do. Certainly it's hard to get a first down or two. But no, as we've said, and I would take this moment just to say, what type of a future I believe that Jackson Arnold and Mike Hawkins, both of those guys, put in a really tough spot as first-year players. The supporting cast that they can't play quarterback by themselves, and put them in a really tough position based on what happened. And both of them are going to be incredibly successful in the future. And but yeah, that made it really difficult. And no excuses. What you would ideally like to see on any given Saturday, if you're going to be competitive and have a chance to win as an offense and a defense, and a special teams that complement one another, not compensate for one another. And when you give the ball back more than you take it from the opponent, I know it's hard to win.
Okay, we'll go to right down front in front of the podium here.
Hey, Coach. I want to talk Red River a little bit. In your first 3 seasons as the head coach at Oklahoma, you're 1-2 in the Red River. You've been outscored 37-117 and scored just 3 and 0 points in the 2 losses. What do you think the key is to getting your offense going in those games against Texas, and how important is that game to your program and to your fan base?
Yeah, well, I would say 2 of the 3 years we were, at some key positions. We're in a really tough spot, but I think 2 years ago was reflective of the type of game that it should be and will be moving forward. But yeah, we got to play better. We got to coach better. We got to play better. And that's a wonderful venue, as good as there is in all of college football. I've said it a lot. It's better than any national championship environment that I've been in. And I believe part of that is because of all the corporate that's at a national championship game. You're looking at 30+% maybe corporate that aren't really invested. And there's not a heartbeat in that stadium in the Cotton Bowl that's not heavily invested with a little bit of hate in the heart. So we'll get back on track. Look forward to that opportunity in October when it gets here. You bet.
We're going to go over to our left-hand side, about the 3rd row over here to our left.
Hey, Coach. Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered. The improvements you guys have made on the defensive side of the ball have been well documented since you got to Norman. Outside of just the obvious, which is the personnel upgrades, what do you feel like you've done from a cultural standpoint and just a mindset change that has led to getting dominant defense back in Norman?
Yeah, I think that, great question. I think it goes without saying that we had a lot of guys that were scarred up, guys that were still here on the roster, a lot of guys that were scarred up and didn't know how to play and prepare the right way. It's not like a knock on anybody, but I don't think had the confidence, probably most importantly, and so it takes a lot. You nurture that, you develop that, you recruit that, and then man, you're relentless about chasing excellence and being the example for what it looks like every single day. You got to be a therapist, you got to be a coach, you got to be a teacher, you got to be a motivator, and I love that. I love building things. I like building things that are to last, and so we literally started from the ground up. And this, again, will be the first year that we've had guys that are in our program for 4 years, 6 players on defense. This will be year 4 for them. And I expect them, the more you play, the better you get. That's a developmental game. And but culture, mindset, how we do what we do, how we practice, the passion, the intensity should be like a game mindset, every rep. And those are game reps. And to get the buy-in is not an easy thing to do, as many coaches will tell you. And but I've always chosen, instead of making my guys do something, I can get them to do whatever I want. And but I want to inspire and to motivate and challenge. And that's how we've created the buy-in, with our players, to get our guys excited to go dominate practice, dominate the minutia, dominate the meeting room, and to play at a really, really high elite level. So that's been fun to see the change. We're not anywhere close to where we want to be and where we're going to be, but we're moving in the right direction. I'm proud of all of the work that's gone into it from both the players and the coaches.
Coach, we'll go in the center aisle about 3/4 of the way back on this near aisle. Drew.
Yes, Drew DeArmond, WCZN Radio, Huntsville, Alabama coach. Of course, we know Jim Nagy very well in our state. He was the director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. Big-time scouting background, Super Bowl champion. Talk about the relationship you two have, and how did that kind of come about to add him to your organization to try to take this program back to an elite level?
Yeah, love Jim Nagy, love his staff. Always been a longtime fan. Our paths crossed many, many years ago at a couple of different spots. And he's first class. He's been really good for a long time at the highest level of football. He's got a great football mind. He's a tremendous human being. He's been a great partner in our collaboration to make us more efficient and make us right. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch that. We're literally just kind of starting the root system. He hired his last few guys just several weeks ago, went through our very first cycle that was halfway done when he jumped in. And so I think you'll really see the fruits of the labor of, the vision of, what we want to do and what we want to become through that space over the next couple of cycles recruiting. But they love it. What I love about Jim and his staff is they're really passionate about what they do. And they care about people. And they love building things, and they work well together. They've got those types of skills, and so it's been fun so far.
Coach, we're going to go all the way in the very back to our right, the back right section.
Brandon Dromo, you insider. Brent, can you talk about just some of the young guys that maybe you guys expect to play this season for you? I know you guys return a lot of experience, but is there guys, maybe freshmen, sophomores, that you expect to contribute in a big way this season? Yeah, up front on offensive line, I would say a couple of the guys. You'll see a lot of Eddie Pierre-Louis, who didn't get to campus until last summer. And I think you'll see UK Daniel Akinkume. I think you'll see Mike Fasusi, Ryan Fogier, a couple of freshmen offensive linemen that are mature beyond their years, mentally and physically. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I would think a few names that you may or may not know. Danny Okoye, pound for pound, might be the best athlete on our football team.
I think Reggie Powers is also somebody that's got great position flexibility and play a lot of different positions for us. Cortland Gilroy is a young man from Houston that showed up on campus, a corner that loves to compete. That's probably his best quality and trait. He's long, he's super athletic, but he loves to compete, and he shows up every day. He's a dog, and plays with tremendous effort, lets you coach him hard. So I love that about Cortland. And thinking out loud here inside, I think you'll see a lot more of David Stone as well. Trent Wilson has had a really nice transition from high school as well. And then man Omarion Robinson is a guy that got here in January that has tremendous range, great instincts, natural safety as well. Those are the names that jump out at me right away, but the test of the season will tell.
We're going to go over to our left-hand side, over here about 4 rows on the left.
Hey, Coach, Bruce Marshall at WHBQ Memphis. Quick question about the bowl game against Navy. You had the unique challenge to face them, and you did a better job than most teams slowing down that very unique wing T sort of offense they had. My question is, having seen that, first of all, what was it like preparing for Navy? And two, I mean, you got a quarterback. I saw Mateer run great with Washington State last year. Can you or should other teams implement a little bit more what Navy did? Because nobody really stopped them last year.
Yeah, no, appreciate the question. I think we did give up a back-breaking 90-yard run that was about a third of their offense, early in the second half, and don't know that we slowed them down. You gotta, our job is to win on defense, but I do think the element of option football is alive and well in college football and the NFL for that matter. And they do it from different formations, but sometimes they get to the same formation. It may not look the same from a Navy standpoint, but they actually do a lot more of it than you think. I think option football has always been part of successful offenses, and defensively, I've always had an option, mentality when defending a lot of the spread offenses as well. So especially in the +1 run game, which is what the option football is all about, with the quarterback as a legitimate runner, the +1 run game that everybody does to some degree is a huge part of stopping people on defense, and offensively the success.
We have time for a couple more. We'll start here in the second row, right in front of us, Coach, over here to our left. Cedric.
Hey, Brent. Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. How do you navigate this rebuild while absolutely having to deal with the change in tide, NIL, recruiting, and all of that? It's a different set of circumstances. And you're not used to having losing seasons. Yeah,
but first of all, I think everybody's is dealing with the same challenges. So the poor me is not part of the conversation, and it's complicated. I say it's complicated, more so than it's ever been for young people. The process of choosing a school, and but I think it's great too. I think it's about time. And we've got to do a good job from a leadership position of helping, whether that's, program by program or us in a leadership position holistically in college football, helping these young people be good stewards of this space and continue to keep the main thing, to, again, holistically develop these young people, to help them maximize the small window that, that's there in college, to develop, to play the game as long as they can play it, but be prepared for, life beyond, the football field, because that day's coming where they got to hang the cleats up. And that's our responsibility, is to be able to help manage all of it. But listen, there's always been change in college football, decade after decade after decade. Is this a lot? Yeah, no question. But do I believe in our leadership? I do. And we're going to put structures in place that helps, help us all navigate this in, the right kind of way. And but the structures aren't any good if people, go beyond those structures. And so that's what it's going to take. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of other carnage in college football and in college in general, in college sports, if leadership doesn't have full buy-in on trying to move the game together and progress it the right way.
Coach, we'll take one final question back towards the TV set, right in the very back.
Jerry, I'm for the third AL.com. Coach, you guys took Auburn the distance last year. What do you remember most about that game?
Well, I mean, as we know, it's one of the more difficult venues to go and play. I think Mike Hawkins, that was his first career road start. I don't think anybody's ever done that in SEC history, come out with a win. I think the guts and the toughness from Mike Hawkins, our ability to overcome a lot of self-inflicted mistakes, penalties, etc., drops, and then the ebbs and flows of the game of football, man. The dramatic comeback, the two-point conversion, the critical stops, going on the road, the fight, the guts, the toughness that our players exemplified. I've seen many teams that are on the wrong side of that in that scenario, being down at one point, I believe, to start the fourth quarter by 11 on the road. So had a bunch of babies out there making plays and finding a way to get a win.
Coach Venables, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Appreciate it. Boomer Sooner.